From the day you were born, something precious was stolen from you. It wasn't money or material possessions. It was your energy, your time, and your freedom. And the worst part? You never even noticed. Think about it. Why are you always tired, even when you sleep well? Why do you feel that no matter what you do, it's never enough? Because this system was designed to drain your vitality, keep you busy, and prevent you from seeing the truth. Every distraction, every fear implanted, every obligation imposed is not a coincidence. They are strategies to keep you trapped in a game you never chose to play. Imagine there is an invisible thief stealing something from you every single day. You don't see him, you don't feel his presence. But by the end of the day, you are empty. That thief exists, and he is in every screen, every manipulated news piece, every distraction designed to keep you occupied. But the most important question is, will you keep letting this happen? Now you will find out who is behind this and how to break free before it's too late. From the moment you open your eyes in the morning, something invisible starts stealing your energy. But it's not a thief sneaking in through the window, nor a shadowy creature lurking in the corner of your room. This theft happens so subtly and is so well designed that you don't even realize you're being drained. The alarm clock rings, and before you even get out of bed, you are already surrounded by notifications, demands, and imposed expectations. Who decided that your life should be like this? You, or the system that shaped your routine to keep you constantly exhausted? The illusion starts early. They taught you that success means waking up early, working hard, and winning in life. But winning what exactly? The more you follow this script, the more trapped you feel, like you're running on a treadmill that never stops. You fight for a degree, a stable job, a house, and when you finally achieve these milestones, you realize you are still exhausted, with no time and no sense of purpose. If all of this was supposed to bring happiness, why does the exhaustion never go away? Now look around. What they call freedom is actually a game where all the choices have already been made for you. Left or right, blue or red, traditional or progressive. In the end, everything has been programmed to keep you in the same cycle. It's like a magic trick. While you're distracted choosing between two options, you fail to see that both lead to the same destination, a system that profits from your exhaustion. But the real trap lies in your attention. Every second you spend on pointless arguments, fabricated news, or endlessly scrolling through social media is energy that you will never get back. And here's the secret no one tells you: your energy is more valuable than money. The modern system doesn't need to steal your gold or possessions. It just needs to capture your mind. Every click, every like, every meaningless debate fuels a machine designed to keep you distracted. Think about this. How many times have you picked up your phone for a quick check, only to realize that half an hour has passed? That's not a coincidence. That was designed. Your brain has become a battleground between you and corporations that study in great detail how to keep you addicted. The technology that was supposed to free you has become the most sophisticated prison of all. Little by little, your energy isn't drained all at once. It's taken in small doses throughout the day. A notification here, an urgent email there, a fake crisis in the headlines, and by the end of the day you feel drained without even knowing why. Like a glass losing drops of water until it runs dry, your vitality is being wasted without you realizing it. Now, the most important question: if your energy is being stolen, who truly benefits from it? The exhaustion you feel is not a flaw in the human experience. It was designed, but more important than knowing this is understanding how to break free from it. What if there were a way to take back your energy, to escape this cycle and regain control of your life? Now that you understand how your energy is being stolen, it's time to go deeper, Because to keep you trapped, the system doesn't just drain your body, it controls your mind. Imagine your mind as a blank canvas, and everything you see, hear, and consume paints a picture on it. Now think, who is holding the brush? What we call information, entertainment, and daily updates are nothing more than carefully selected paints used to create the reality they want you to see. But while you are entertained, distracted, and emotionally engaged, someone is profiting, and that someone is not you. The greatest trick the system ever pulled was convincing you that you are choosing what you consume. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, your opinions, your interests, your outrages, were they really chosen by you? Social media doesn't show you what you need to know. It shows you what keeps you trapped. The algorithm is not neutral. It knows your emotional triggers better than you do, and it uses them against you, holding your attention captive without you even realizing it. Nothing in the modern world is designed to be consumed and forgotten. Everything is crafted to pull you deeper into a web of distractions. An alarming news headline, a viral video, a heated debate. Everything is designed to provoke your emotions. You feel anger, outrage, anxiety. But have you noticed that after hours of arguing, nothing actually changes? Your energy has been drained. Your focus has been consumed. But the system remains intact. Politics follows the same script. While you exhaust yourself fighting over sides, they forget to tell you an uncomfortable truth. No matter who wins, the real system never changes. Have you ever wondered why, every 4 years, the cycle of hope and frustration repeats? Because the game was designed that way. While you are deeply invested in the conflict, the ones truly in power remain untouchable. And social media, it was never made to connect people. It was made to divide them. Endless debates, polarized opinions, collective outrage. It's all part of the spectacle. But while you fight over manufactured ideals, who benefits? While you burn your emotional energy on never-ending arguments, someone is making money, and that someone isn't you. Modern distraction doesn't just come from screens, it's woven into everyday life. The constant sense of urgency, the pressure to always be up to date, the demand to respond immediately to everything. This isn't a coincidence, it's programming. But what if you slowed down? What if you chose to ignore what drains you but adds nothing to your life? What would remain? The answer to that question is dangerous to the system. Because when you stop getting distracted, you start seeing what truly matters. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now, another key piece of this game needs to be exposed. Fear. Because if distraction isn't enough to keep you trapped, fear will do the job perfectly. Fear is the invisible chain that keeps billions of people trapped without them even realizing it. It doesn't need walls, bars, or handcuffs. It lives inside your mind. From childhood, you were taught to be afraid. Afraid of failing, afraid of standing out, afraid of the future, afraid of the unknown. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself who truly benefits from this fear? The media knows this. Every headline, every breaking news alert, every alarming prediction, all of it is carefully designed to keep you in a constant state of anxiety. Fear is addictive. It makes you want to check the news every minute, even though you know it only brings more distress. It makes you worry about problems you've never experienced, but that occupy your mind all the time. The more you fear, the less you think. And the less you think, the easier you are to control. And don't think this is accidental. A fearful brain doesn't think, it just reacts. If you're scared, you don't question. If you're insecure, you don't take risks. Fear keeps you exactly where the system wants you, obedient. You stay in the job you hate because you're afraid you won't find another. You take on debt because you're afraid of not looking successful. You accept a mediocre life because the fear of the unknown seems worse than the daily dissatisfaction you feel. But the biggest trick of fear is making you believe it is your ally. Fear keeps us safe, they say. But safe from what? From trying something new? From breaking free? From finally questioning whether the life you have today is truly the one you want? Fear should protect you from real dangers, not turn you into a slave to a system that drains your energy. Now think about the biggest fears holding you back today. How many of them are based on real threats, and how many were implanted? Society is structured to ensure you always have something to fear. An uncertain future, an unstable economy, political crises, wars, diseases. Fear paralyzes. And while you're frozen in panic, someone else keeps controlling the game. The good news? Fear only has power as long as you feed it. The moment you choose to face it, it starts losing strength. You don't have to react to every threat they present to you. You can choose where to place your attention, energy, and focus. Fear doesn't disappear overnight, but courage to challenge it grows with every step. But there is an even more sophisticated trick that keeps you trapped. Time. Because even if fear doesn't control you, there's another invisible prison, the constant feeling that there's never enough time. And that is the next truth you need to see. If there's one thing no one can get back, it's time. But have you ever stopped to think about why you always feel like you don't have enough of it? Modern society was designed to keep you constantly behind, always chasing something, always feeling like there's never enough time to truly live. But time for what? To live, or to keep serving the system. The obsession with productivity is one of the greatest prisons of today. From an early age, you're taught that every second must be spent working, studying, improving, but improving toward what? If running was the answer, why does no one ever reach the top? The truth is that this constant rush leads nowhere. It only keeps you too busy to question what's really happening. Time itself has been distorted. Once, people lived by the rhythms of nature, the seasons, the rising and setting of the sun. Now we follow the ticking of the clock, deadlines, endless to-do lists. Time is no longer a natural flow. It has become a system of control. If you're not producing, you feel guilty. If you take a moment for yourself, it feels like you're wasting your life. But who convinced you of that? Time is not against you. Someone just made you believe it is. Fast-paced cities, overbooked schedules, infinite task lists. All of this was created to keep you so busy that you never have time to reflect. The faster you live, the less you notice what truly matters. Rushing is the perfect form of distraction, but there is a way out of this endless race. What if, just for a moment, you chose to slow down? What if you stopped measuring your life in hours worked and started measuring it in moments lived? Breaking free from this cycle doesn't mean abandoning everything and disappearing into the mountains. It means refusing to let time be used as a weapon against you, because in the end, whoever controls your time controls your life. What if you finally took that control back? The first step is simple but requires courage. Question the need to always be rushing, because when you slow down, you start to see, and when you see, you realize there are other ways to live. But if time is a prison, then consumerism is what ensures you stay inside it. Because even if you had free time, the system has convinced you that you need to spend it, buying things to feel complete. And that is the next great trick that needs to be exposed. Since childhood, you were taught that success means having more money, more status, more material possessions. But why is it that the more you achieve, the more dissatisfied you feel? Because this pursuit was never meant to have an end. It was deliberately designed that way. The system doesn't want you to be happy. It wants you to keep buying into the illusion that one day, if you just acquire enough, you finally will be. The cycle of consumerism is simple. First, they create a desire in you. Then, They make you believe that something external can fill the void, a new car, the latest fashion, the newest technology. You feel a fleeting moment of pleasure when you make a purchase, but soon the dissatisfaction returns. And what do they tell you? That you need more. And so the cycle repeats itself, and you keep spinning the wheel like a deceived hamster. The worst part, you trade your time for money to buy things you don't even need. You work to make someone else rich, and at the end of the day, you use that money to sustain the very industries that exploit you. Have you ever noticed that no matter how much you earn, it never seems to be enough to feel completely free? That's not a flaw in the system, it is the system. The idea that success lies in the next promotion, the next purchase, the next milestone is an illusion, because there is always a next. The system ensures that you never truly arrive. But what if one day you realized that you already have enough? That maybe the answer was never in buying more, but in wanting less. That single thought alone is a threat to the game that keeps you trapped. Now consider this. What would happen if tomorrow no one bought anything they didn't truly need? The system would collapse, because it cannot survive without your endless desire for more. That's why billions are spent on advertising, influencers, and trends. Everything is designed to make sure you continue chasing something you will never actually reach. But what if you chose a different path? What if you started questioning every purchase, every imposed desire, every sudden need that arises out of nowhere? True progress isn't in what you acquire, it's in what you learn to let go of. Freedom doesn't come from making more money. It comes from needing less. But there's a problem. Even if you stop consuming as much, the system has another way to ensure you remain drained. The environment you live in was designed to exhaust you. And in the next section, you'll understand how cities were built to keep you tired, distracted, and without time to think. The city never sleeps, but those who live in it never truly rest either. The constant noise, the flashing lights, the chaotic traffic, the never-ending rush. None of this is just a side effect of modernity. It is a precise engineering, carefully designed to keep you overwhelmed, distracted, and mentally exhausted. The relentless stimuli of urban life ensure that your mind never switches off. Even when you are physically still, your brain is processing thousands of pieces of information. The sound of sirens, honking horns, the intense movement of people. You think you've gotten used to it, but the truth is that your nervous system never fully relaxes. This constant overload gradually drains your vital energy. Now think about nature. When was the last time you walked barefoot on the earth, listened to birds without interruptions, or simply breathed in fresh air? Contact with nature is not a luxury. It is a human necessity. But in cities, this connection has been reduced to concrete-surrounded parks, always crowded and with limited time to enjoy them. The disconnection from the natural world is not a coincidence. It is by design. And what about the relentless pace? Have you noticed that everything in the city forces you to move faster? The traffic, the deadlines, the tight schedules. If you're not rushing, you feel like you're falling behind. But behind what? This constant sense of urgency is not a sign of progress. It is a mechanism of control. The less time you have to think, the less you perceive the trap you are caught in. Cities sell the promise of opportunity and freedom, but the truth is, they only offer different paths leading to the same destination, an endless cycle of work and consumption. Every day you wake up, rush from place to place, come home exhausted, and repeat the cycle again the next day. What does that remind you of? A hamster wheel. But there is a secret that few realize. The faster you live, the less life you actually experience. If you need to leave the city to feel at peace, then maybe the problem was never you. It was the environment you were placed in. What if, instead of following this chaotic flow, you chose to slow down? What would happen if you decided to step away from this machine? But there is an even more powerful tool that ensures you remain trapped. technology. Because even when you are far from the urban chaos, your mind continues to be drained, this time through screens. In the next section, you will understand how technology and digital media have turned attention into a commodity. And you are the product. Social media promised connection, but delivered isolation. Technology promised to make your life easier, yet it has made you a slave to the screen. Have you ever wondered why it's so difficult to put your phone down, even when there's nothing interesting on it? This isn't an accidental addiction. It's a carefully designed manipulation to keep your attention captive. If something is free, then you are the product. Every click, every endless scroll, every second you spend on your phone, someone is making money. The goal of digital media is not to inform you, but to trap you. Algorithms analyze you, understand your emotions, and show you exactly what will trigger the most engagement. Because engagement means screen time, and screen time means profit. But how do they manage to keep you so hooked? The answer lies in your brain's chemistry. Every notification triggers a small release of dopamine, the same mechanism used in casinos. You get a like, you feel a momentary pleasure, and then you need more. Without realizing it, you start checking your phone every 5 minutes, without any real reason. This is called addiction engineering. And it's not just entertainment. News has been weaponized as a psychological tool. Shocking headlines, apocalyptic predictions, manufactured crises, everything is designed to keep you anxious and emotionally invested. But have you noticed that no matter how much news you consume, your personal life remains unchanged? The only real difference is in your energy, which is drained by the constant feeling of urgency and fear. Now think about the last time you stayed away from your phone for a few hours. Did you feel disconnected or freer? The system wants you to believe that you need to be constantly online. But the truth is, the more time you spend away from the screen, the more you realize that you haven't actually missed anything important. And little by little, you start to regain something that was stolen from you, your attention. If you want to break free from this cycle, start by observing your habits. Turn off unnecessary notifications, avoid infinite scrolling, question everything you consume. If certain information makes you more anxious than informed, is it really worth it? If an app is making you lose hours of your day, does it deserve to stay in your life? But simply disconnecting isn't enough. If you truly want to regain your energy, you need to redirect it towards something that actually matters. Because if you're not in control of your attention, someone else will be. Now that you understand how your energy is being drained, it's time to discover how to escape this cycle and reclaim your vitality. Now that you understand how your energy is being drained, the most important question arises: how do you escape this cycle? The good news is that you don't need to destroy the system. You just need to stop feeding it. Small daily decisions can help you regain your vitality, mental clarity, and, most importantly, your power over your own life. The first step is to reclaim your focus. Your attention is your greatest asset, and the system fights to steal it from you every day. Start by setting boundaries. Reduce notifications, filter the information you consume, and always ask yourself, is this adding value to my life or just draining my energy? When you take control of what enters your mind, you automatically begin to regain your strength. The second step is to break free from fear. If everything you consume makes you anxious and powerless, maybe it's time to change your sources of information. Fear is a tool of control, and the key to escaping this game is to stop reacting to it. Turn off the news, avoid meaningless arguments, and focus on what you can actually change. Another crucial point: abandon the illusion that consuming more means living better. Letting go of excess brings more clarity than accumulating things. Before buying something, ask yourself, will this truly improve my life? Or is it just a temporary fix for an emotional void? The less you need, the freer you become. And perhaps the most powerful step of all, reconnect with nature. Spend more time outdoors, take deep breaths, slow down. The system wants you to keep running, but real life happens when you stop. The peace you're searching for isn't in the next achievement, it's in the present moment. The great truth is that the system only exists because people keep feeding it. Every time you reclaim your energy, every time you refuse to be distracted, every time you choose to live consciously, you weaken this structure. And believe it, that is the change they fear the most. Now, the final question. Will you keep giving away your energy, or will you take it back? The choice is in your hands. And if you've made it this far, you've already taken the first step. But there's more. In the next video, I'll show you another piece of this puzzle that you need to understand in order to truly set yourself free. Now you know the truth. You understand how your energy is stolen, how your attention is manipulated, and how the system was designed to keep you exhausted and distracted. But knowing is not enough. The question now is, what will you do with this information? Change begins with small decisions. Every time you choose to reclaim your focus, question what you consume, and stop feeding the cycle of distraction, you weaken the system. And believe me, they fear this more than anything else. You can continue living on autopilot, or you can take back control. Will you keep giving away your energy for free, or will you finally use it to create the life you truly want? If this video opened your eyes, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because the journey to freedom begins now. And in the next video, you will uncover another truth that could change everything.